Right, new week. For me, it is week commencing Wednesday, 25th of November, so I didn't work Monday, Tuesday. I've been a bit of a sick child at the moment. Got another bug after I had one a few weeks ago. And it kind of went downhill on Sunday. Had a dodgy stomach and that, and just felt crap. And I thought I'd kind of got rid of it. I had 2 days at home, Monday, Tuesday. Felt reasonable yesterday, and I woke up this morning with a sore throat. So nothing COVID related, no cough or anything, but do feel a bit chesty, but no cough. So who knows? But 2 days at home earning nothing. Obviously, that's one thing about being self-employed. No sick pay or anything. I was just gonna try and earn what I can the rest of the week. So this week, just to quickly go through my fuel prices. UK Fuels, the Shell card through them, which is the one I've had for since I pretty much started doing this, has gone back up. I phoned them probably like 5 or 6 weeks ago now, maybe 4 weeks. And it kind of stayed. They knocked 3p off, and it stayed sort of at a reason. And then the last few weeks it started to drift back up again, and it's back at 96.31 plus the VAT, which is 115.6, which is probably pretty much what you see for most branded fuels on the pumps, maybe slightly cheaper. My BWOC or BWOC card, my new one, which uses the UK Fuels network, that's gone up a bit since last week. It was 86 point something. Last week it was 88.69 probably, sorry, last week. Yeah, it's gone up to 89.25, so that's gone up slightly, but I think maybe the fuel price in general has gone up. So including that, that's 107.1, so that's a fair bit cheaper than even supermarket fuel, and I can obviously use branded fuels. Whether that's any better is open to discussion. So this morning I picked up a first job just after 9. I hadn't been looking for long. Picked up a short wheelbase job from Birmingham, from one of the pallet networks, one of their big depots, down to Ipswich. And I thought Ipswich isn't too bad a spot. You're getting towards kind of the quiet areas of Suffolk, but surely Ipswich is quite big. Colchester, where I picked up a job on Friday to get home. So I was quite confident down there, but picking up one pallet. To be honest, it was a small van job. Pallet probably weighed less than 100 kilograms. It's 6 packs of laminate flooring on a really hefty, heavy pallet. Going to a flooring shop in Ipswich, which is has a park on the curb outside the shop. No forklift or anything, so he handballed it off. I told him I had to leave him with the pallet because I was a courier. I have to go to my next job empty, and he was fine with that, thank God. So I left me in Ipswich just before 1, and then I sat in Ipswich until about 2:30, and literally nothing came up. Initially I had my home area set to Birmingham, and there was quite a bit coming through for the feed from Birmingham, but nothing for down here. I started to think, is the app not working properly, and does it think I'm still in Birmingham? But no, that wasn't the case. Changed my home location to Ipswich, and then still didn't get anything, so it took an hour and a half for the job to come through, and that was a motorbike job. So I decided to trundle down the A12 past Colchester. Can't remember exactly where the town's called now, just off the A12. So from here I can get to like Chelmsford, Colchester, Braintree, and down towards Southend-on-Sea. Maybe not quite Southend-on-Sea within half an hour. It's still pretty quiet, to be honest. So on 113 for the day with some dead miles in there. Priced that job at 70p a mile, including getting there, which loaded miles was about 78p a mile. So that job worked out alright, but obviously like 34 dead miles to get to here. Not looking forward to sleeping in the van tonight, feeling like this, but can't drive home from here for sure. Empty, so hopefully I get some it. If not, it's going to be a very quiet end to my late start to the week. So that's it so far. Right, still Wednesday, so I did manage to get another job just after I finished filming that last thing. I put a bid on a job which was sort of like Colchester, I think, through to Letchworth Garden City. It's a small van job. So I went in, 40 quid is normally my minimum for a job, but with it being a small van job, I thought I'd go in at 35. Slight chance of getting it. I was only like 25 minutes from it. But loaded and unloaded, even at 35, I think it was only like 70p a mile. But it was something extra, and I got the job, picking up for 2 small boxes from private address, which took like 5 minutes to pick up. But the drop-off was in a unit in an industrial estate, and there's no one there. It was all locked up, no sign of life whatsoever. So I phoned the shipper, and they eventually got back to me and says, yeah, the guy's being held up. Can I deliver it to his house? It's like literally 2 miles down the road, 5-minute drive, but it was like 45 minutes to do a drop. So really, I could have asked for more, but the pickup was 5 minutes, so all in, I just couldn't be asked with the hassle. Don't really want to get into it really. Just so yeah, just charged the normal 35 quid for the job and got it done. So what's that, 113 and 35? I think it's 148 for the day, which sounds a lot better than 113. So not the best day. Pretty low earnings. Yeah, pence per mile ain't great because there's some dead miles in there as well. I think it's just really slow. We'll see what tomorrow brings. So yeah, I'm in Baldock now, or Baldock, which is just to the east of the Garden City place. Can't remember which one it was. I just said it. So parked in a Tesco, probably the poshest Tesco I've ever seen. Really posh front to it, big Tesco extra. Had my Chinese. Another purchase. So I've been looking for some trousers, and I find generally, like the workwear, I wanted some like cargo trousers, and I found it's the same with cargo trousers and cargo shorts. If you get like the proper workwear ones, they tend to be really quite thick material, for working on building sites, and really tough, really quite thick. Way too much really for driving, too hot, too sort of stiff almost. Yeah. So I've been looking. I like to use 100% cotton clothes, and I'm looking online for some. And while I was out wandering around Tesco, killing time basically, I had a look in the clothing place, and they got these cargo shorts. So really simple ones, loose fit, 15 quid, 100% cotton, in black, because the ones I got now are blue really. The ones I wear all the time, these are 100% cotton. I was given these at a place I worked at years ago, and they're getting a bit scruffy now in the navy blue. So yes, smart myself up a bit, treating myself to them. These are spending money because not working, so I was not wasting money, but things. Hopefully they fit. Yeah, nowhere now. All the changing rooms of places are shut. I think it's COVID. I've noticed that in other places as well. At least with Tesco, they said to me, if they don't fit, you can take them back to any Tesco store. It doesn't have to be the one where you bought them. As long as you've got the receipt. So I have to give them a wash first, and then I'll see how they get on next week. So yeah, some boxes as well. So yeah, another thing about this Tesco. Normally I find with Tesco it's restricted parking, but this one isn't, which is quite rare. So I'll be stopping here tonight. There's a Eastern European guy in his Luton, the Luton sort of curtain side, but not curtain side like tarpaulin, but on a frame. Then Eastern European ones you see on the road all the time. Walking past his van, you can hear his diesel heater go turning over, all burning away and heating his van up nicely for him. So yeah, a bit envious of that, but that is definitely Wednesday done. Gonna go and get the van sorted now and try and get an early, ish night. Right, Thursday morning now. So just before I move on for the day and pack away and get ready, I've had a few questions lately about my tramping or sleeping setup, so I just thought I'd quickly go through that. It's still changing all the time, but this is the latest. Right, so if you've been watching my channel for a little while, you'd know I started on an airbed and soon realised they weren't up to the job for many reasons. So now I am using a camp bed. So I did go through what model this was before. Really happy with it. It's the extra large version because I'm quite tall, 6'2", so this is longer and also wider. Folds up really easy. Store it next to my trolley here. I've got my old sleeping bag, my old cheapo sleeping bag, has a bit of extra padding and also insulation. And when it's cold, particularly cold, I put a mat, which we call it a removal blanket, as a bit extra layer. Because what I do find is on cold nights, the kind of your heat soaks out, even with a good quality sleeping bag like I've got now, the heat soaks out underneath and your back feels cold, and that makes your core cold, and if your core's cold, that's it, you're never getting a good night's sleep. Got a cheap travel pillow that I had before, works quite well, does a job. Like I say, this is just a liner for the sleeping bag, so the sleeping bag doesn't need washing so often. You can just wash that end of each week. Good quality sleeping bag, which I've gone through before. This is a proper down 4-season wintry, supposed to be comfort down to -3, but I don't think that, for me, that's not comfort to -3. It's comfort to maybe 5-6 degrees. But I am somebody who tends to feel a cold. Something which I think it was Steve's recommendation. He suggested doing this with the blankets, and last night was the first night I did it. So I've used 2 of my cam buckle straps, which I use for, these are the 2 straps I use for securing my trolley to the bulkhead. So just like pinning it against the bulkhead when I'm driving around. So when I'm not using it at night, both of them, from the load point over there over to like this little hingey bit on the thing, just tying it up nicely, nice tight thing. And I got 2 of these blankets. The blankets seem to be 1.5 meters by 2 meters. That seems to be a standard size. So I've got 2 of them lengthways over, and then I can just slide that one up, slide that one down, and it kind of, like as Steve suggested, makes a sort of tent part inside. That'll cover there as well, and that kind of helps keep the air around you a bit warmer, which is handy. And that, in a nutshell, is about it. Oh, I've got this little cheapo indoor flooring mat, so when I'm getting changed and stuff, and I'm not on the socks or bare feet, I'm not standing on a cold floor. Maybe do with getting a thicker one or a bigger one in time. I have to mention it. That's my my piss bottle, basically. When I did start this, I was like, quite often at night I was looking for somewhere to go for a slash before I go to sleep. And if you're parked up in a residential street, you just can't just go and piss in someone's wall or something, you know, in a garden. So I ended up just resorting to getting one of them big water bottles, and it does the trick. So there you go. Still Thursday, so late morning. Managed to pick up a job this morning. First job just after 9. So I had quite a bit of a wait. I bid on a fair few before I got the job. A short wheelbase job from Stevenage. It's like 5 miles down the road from where I was, and then 25 miles loaded, so it's 30 miles all in. So I went in minimum charge, 40 quid, got the job, picking up from a bookbinder's, and taking it to some private address, really fancy private address. I saw the guy open the thing. I think the guy might have been an artist. I need to check him out on Google because I got his name there. Yeah, pretty straightforward, apart from I had to handball them in. There's like 47 boxes and then handball them off, but I helped both sides, took 10 minutes each side. So that worked out alright. It is a bit slow here, I'd say. That's just how it is at the moment. So I bid on a fair few, but this is the situation where now, it's late morning, if I take like a minimum charge job again, you know, it could easily take me till like early afternoon, and then I might not get another job. So I could easily just do 2 small jobs. So really I need a £100 plus, really ideally more like £150 job now. So that situation, do I be fussy and only go for the longer jobs? But then I'm in the southeast, so I find down here there's less long jobs because a lot of long jobs go to the southeast. So it's what to do, isn't it? So just sat here waiting now. But that was the first job of the day. Right, Thursday evening now, so I'm sat back outside my house. But before I tell you about what happened in the afternoon, yeah, I looked up that artist. Quite interesting, actually, and also quite tragic. Apparently the guy, he's quite well known, and he's a mouth artist, which basically doesn't mean he just paints mouths. He's paralysed from the neck down after breaking his neck jumping into some shallow water at the age of 17. So it's quite remarkable, really. Apparently he paints, he's only got the use of his head and his neck, and he holds the paintbrush in his mouth and I saw some of them because the guy was flicking through these books that I'd taken to them from the binders, like loads of his artwork in it, prints of it, and it all looked really good stuff. So yeah, that was a bit interesting. Yeah, so I was sat there for quite a while, and I moved on to a local town, just to find a supermarket, toilet and stuff. But yeah, basically didn't get another job, and it got to like late afternoon, and I just thought, bugger this, I'm going home, because like I say, I'm not feeling great. So I did 30 miles this morning, all in for 40 quid, and then I did probably 110 miles, dead miles, to get back home. So clearly not a good day, and yesterday wasn't great. Really quiet down there. So I was just off the M25, just north of Watford. So my actual location would have got me notifications for a lot of London, and then my home location was set as Letchworth, so I'd have been getting more jobs again further to the northeast. And I'd say a job was pinging up, so I've got mine set to motorbike up to medium wheelbase. I'd say it's like a job there's 40 jobs in an hour between 2:20 and 3:20. So it does normally get a bit quiet in the afternoons. 40 jobs, so a job every minute and a half, roughly. Fair few of them were for the day after. I've been on quite a few, but I wasn't going to do local stuff, because then I thought if I do one local job, it's kind of like admitting defeat for the day in a lot of ways. So I've been on longer stuff, even stuff to the southwest and Bristol and Cardiff and Doncaster, Leeds, all a few jobs to the northwest, and I've bidden them my normal money. But I think it's always a struggle down there to get jobs, because I think there's people from out the area trying to get out of there, especially in the afternoon. Didn't get any of them, as I say. So yeah, just sacked it off and driven home, because I'm not feeling great still. So I'm just gonna have a lazy night, see how I feel in the morning. But I'm starting to worry a bit. Obviously we announced lockdowns ending, but there's still going to be a lot of places in quite severe lockdown, like most of the major cities and stuff. So how much it's going to pick up, I don't know. So I'm even contemplating searching out some multi-drop work, because they'll be crying out for people, and there's a few jobs being posted on CX, so I've made a note of a few of the numbers. Yeah, I'm going to ponder that more, and then I'll have a think about it before the weekend, and maybe update on the weekend summary. But that's the way I'm thinking at the moment. It's not great, and it's definitely not worth tramping, staying in a van for 100 to 150 quid a day on a good day. It's just not worth doing. You can earn that should be able to earn that doing multi-drop locally, hopefully. But yeah, like I say, more of that on the weekend. Right, Friday, sort of early afternoon now, just had my lunch. Yeah, so I was at home last night. I was a bit lazy, to be honest, getting up, and didn't start looking for jobs until just after 9, and then I was kind of thinking I have to stay local, obviously, with it being a Friday. don't really want to go too far from home and try to get back again in the same day. And that's a job pinged up, multi-drop, yeah, from Tamworth, said 50 to 60 drops, 150. Must have multi-drop experience. I thought I'd give that a go because I'm never going to do, or very unlikely to do, 150. Just working locally within the West Mids with how quiet it is at the moment. And I'm sort of thinking about maybe doing this up to Christmas because I don't think it's going to get that busy, just general haulage. It means I can stay at home each night. So yeah, did a pickup, pretty simple enough really. Got there about 10:30, got away about 12. Bit of faffing around because obviously I didn't know the place. 57 parcels, maybe about 54 drops. So there you can see. So I've done 2 drops so far. It's all small stuff compared to, I literally had this van, I'd have it full to the top up here all the way to the back doors, and it would be like 100 to 120 parcels when I did it with Yodel. Big stuff. It seems to be quite small stuff. Outskirts of Leicester, LE3, LE6 and LE9. First 2 have been a bit rural. I'm hoping more of it's going to be like where I am now, sort of more in housing estates and stuff. But yeah, that's something a bit different for thing, and I have to see how it goes. I might see if I can do a bit more with these, see how it goes today. Right, 'tis the weekend now, but just to quickly give a roundup of Friday's multi-drop. It was only 56 drops, I think it was in the end. But it didn't work out very well. They're just too spread out. There's quite a lot of them where you're driving like 10-15 minutes between drops, which is obviously a nightmare because if it's 10-minute drive between drops, say on average that's like 60 minutes plus dropping, you're only going to get like 5 done an hour. So yeah, I didn't actually finish my last drop until just before 8 o'clock in the evening. Then I had to drive back to a depot, drop off the parcels that I couldn't deliver, and then drive home. So I didn't get home till like 9:30. So that's a no-go for me on that experience. That particular one. There are other ones on there which I might look to try at least. This company, we were just asking if they want to do it again tomorrow, and I noticed I had another job up saying £170, and I was kind of thinking if they're going to pay 170 quid, maybe that was just a bad route or something, you know, it would be worth trying again if it's 170, but no, they're only going to pay 150. Having discussed it via WhatsApp with a guy, and I just politely declined and said, it's not for me, I can't make it stack up. Part of the problem is I didn't get there till 10:30. The earliest I could get there was 9:30 anyway, not particularly much earlier. So then I couldn't have done it much quicker. I know what I'm doing now. I used the Road Warrior to plan it. So even if I got there at 9:30 an hour earlier, I wouldn't have got home till 8:30. It's just too late to be eating and getting home and cooking and stuff. So yeah, that one's a no-go. So for now, I'll be back on the light haulage general CX jobs from tomorrow morning. Try and get on it a bit sooner and see how I get on. So a bit of a strange week really. I didn't work Monday, Tuesday because I wasn't feeling very well, just generally. And then I only did 3 days, so I did one night in a van, and then I drove back because I just kind of had enough and still wasn't feeling great. On the Thursday, spent the night at home. There was only a 3-day week, which is 2 nights, obviously, one at home, one in the van. So I filmed that a little bit, but my tramping setup. So Wednesday was 113 and 35, which is 148. Thursday was the shocking day, which was 140 quid job in the morning for like a 30-mile job. And then I drove home from sort of Hemel Hempstead way empty because I just had enough. I did actually that day because I had a bit of a cough with being under the weather. Went and had a COVID test and it came back negative, so I haven't got COVID. So that's one positive for the week. And then Friday was just that 150 multi-drop job. So that's 338 for the week, or £112.67 a day, which is obviously shocking. Miles 531. That's just under 200 miles. Don't know if I've worked it out right, to be honest. Seems a bit low. And the 63.7 pence a mile. I thought it'd be lower than that as well. So yeah, take them figures with a pinch of salt, the mileage ones. Yeah, so that's the week over. Like I said earlier, I'm going to keep my eye out for other multi-jobs. Jobs as another shipper who I almost did work for before, but then I picked something else up. And they've got quite a lot of jobs around here, and they seem to get decent feedback. So that's from different depots. Like I say, different shippers. So I might see if I can give that a try. If I can earn 150, maybe slightly more, doing multi-drop locally, and I'm not finishing too late. I think I'd rather do that now rather than keeping the back of the van. Now we're in the deeper depths of winter. Yeah, it's quite different prospect tramping in a van this time of year to if you went way back to the start of my vlogs. When I started filming these vlogs when I went back doing sort of CX light haulage jobs after the first lockdown in August, I think it was, because doing the government food deliveries to the end of July, and when I think back, it was gorgeous summer weather, tramping on the beach down the south coast, going for a swim in the sea. It's like a totally different world to winter time, isn't it, where it's dark at 4 o'clock and cold and miserable. And yeah, but I don't mind tramping out and about, but you need to be getting a reward. 200 quid's okay, but anything less than that, it's just not worth doing, really. If you're staying away from home, you need to be earning a lot more, or I do in a way, for me to stick with it. So yeah, that's the week. Thanks for watching. As ever, any comments, please put them below. Cheers.